In 1987, the town of Vernon experienced 3 horrific consecutive massacres on Halloween. The perpetrator brutally killed 3 young girls by stabbing them 16 times each. From then on, the locals called him Sweet 16 Killer. After 35 years, the true identity of the killer remained a mystery, so people would wear his costume during Halloween. Jamie was getting ready to attend the festival at her friend's home. Her mother, Pam, wanted her to stay home with the family to have a fun Halloween night together. However, Jamie was determined to go out, so her father, Blake, had to drive her. At home, Pam was giving out candies to children. Suddenly, a person wearing a Sweet 16 Killer mask arrived at her door, startling Pam. She thought he was here for candy, but he suddenly pulled out a knife, frightening Pam. She quickly closed the door, but the killer broke in and attacked Pam. Pam fought back using the self-defense skills she had learned over the years but was unsuccessful. She was thrown down to the floor. In a desperate moment, Pam quickly sprayed pepper spray into the attacker's eyes and seized the opportunity to grab a knife in the kitchen for self-defense. She thought the killer had left, but he unexpectedly appeared from behind. After a struggle, Pam was ultimately captured and killed brutally with 16 stabs. Sweet 16 Killer, who had been missing for many years, had returned. The police arrived to seal off the crime scene, and a famous streamer, Chris, known for his true crime channel, was also present to live stream the incident on his channel. The next day, the sheriff went to the school to question Jamie. They want to know where was Blake when her mother was killed, suspecting he might have been jealous due to Pam's messages to Chris and might have been involved in her murder. However, Jamie denied this. She then went to the fair to find her best friend Amelia, who was trying to complete a time travel machine that her mother had left unfinished. But no matter how hard she tried, the machine still couldn't work. Looking at the date on the machine, Jamie wished she could go back in time to prevent the killer from ever striking, which might save her mother from being killed. Jamie returned home to question Blake about the messages exchanged between Pam and Chris. Blake explained that they were exchanging information to investigate the Sweet 16 Killer, because the police had long stopped investigating the murder case, and only Chris was continuing the investigation. The next day, Jamie met Chris to ask him directly if he was having an affair with her mother. Chris clarified that he was only helping her with the investigation. He then showed her a piece of paper that her mother had received after the last massacre with the words, "You are next." This note had haunted her mother for years, living in the fear that the day would come. On the way to meet Amelia that night, the Sweet 16 Killer suddenly appeared and attacked Jamie. She hastily ran into an amusement park and hid inside Amelia's time machine. The killer searched for her everywhere. In a careless moment, Jamie accidentally touched the start button, revealing her location. He approached and stabbed Jamie, but she dodged the attack. The knife pierced the control panel, unintentionally activating the time machine and sending her back to the year 1987. After realizing that she had indeed traveled back in time, Jamie saw this as an opportunity to prevent the massacre. She immediately went to the school her mother had attended and pretended to be an exchange student to join a class. Coincidentally, the class was having a physical education lesson, and the 3 victims were there as well. The teacher called her to join the sports activity. In the ensuing game of dodgeball, she got injured because of her lack of experience. Later, Jamie tried to strike up a conversation and get to know Pam's group, known as the Molly Group, and Jamie's mother was the leader of the group. Jamie warned them that one of the 3 would be killed tonight, but they paid no attention, thinking she was delusional. Frustrated, she decided to go to the police to report the impending incident, but both police officers didn't believe her story about time travel. Feeling helpless, she decided to seek out Lauren, Amelia's mother in the future, who had created the time machine. At first, Lauren didn't believe Jamie's story, but after Jamie showed her the iPhone from the future, Lauren began to trust her and decided to help Jamie. The 2 of them attended Tiffany's birthday party, who would become the first victim. Inside the party, Jamie saw a handsome man with 6-pack abs who turned out to be her father, shocking her. At that moment, the Molly Group noticed Jamie's presence and asked a friend to escort her out, but Jamie sneaked back inside through the fence and hurriedly searched the house for Tiffany, but couldn't find her. Jamie smartly checked the phone and saw that the victim had been killed in the garage. However, when she arrived, Tiffany wasn't there. Jamie realized that the timeline had changed since her arrival. At this time, Tiffany was in her room waiting for her boyfriend. Suddenly, a masked intruder appeared. At first, she thought it was a prank by her boyfriend, but to her horror, the killer drew a knife and repeatedly stabbed her 16 times, ending her life. By the time Jamie arrived, it was too late. Meanwhile, in the present, Amelia was repairing the time machine when Chris arrived and informed her that the location where Tiffany was killed had changed from the garage to the bedroom. Amelia suspected that these changes were due to the impact of time travel. They discovered a piece of paper near the bed with the words, "Stab the machine," and the first letter of Jamie's name. Amelia realized they needed conductive metal to activate the time machine and start working on it. Back in the past, the police arrived to search the crime scene and were suspicious of Jamie, but Pam vouched for her. Pam had started to believe Jamie's words and took her home. Jamie warned that not only Tiffany had been killed, but also Marissa and Heather. Jamie asked for Pam's help to prevent these murders from happening. The following day at school, Jamie proposed that the group go to the city to stay away from the cabin in the woods where Marissa had been killed. Everyone agreed and started their trip, but on the way, Jamie fell asleep and woke up to find they had arrived at the cabin, which made her angry for being deceived. She also saw Blake with Randy, and Kara had joined the group. Inside the cabin, everyone was enjoying themselves. However, Jamie was the only one feeling anxious and tried to warn them about the danger, but no one paid any attention to her, and they locked her outside to silence her. While outside, Jamie noticed an open window and suspected that the killer had entered the house. She rushed to inform Kara, but Kara didn't seem to care. Frustrated, Jamie climbed a tree to enter the house through the window. Meanwhile, Heather had fallen asleep, and the Sweet 16 killer was already inside her room. Jamie tried to wake Heather from outside but couldn't, so she ran to Pam's room to call for help. When Heather woke up, she saw the killer right in front of her. She panicked and tried to escape, but was knocked down the stairs. The killer slowly followed, repeatedly stabbing Heather and ending her life. Blake rushed in to help, but was stabbed in the chest. Just when things looked dire, Jamie arrived in time and used a piece of wood to strike the killer's head. Everyone cooperated to fight back, forcing the killer to flee. They went to the police station to report the incident. Jamie gave the police a piece of cloth with the killer's blood on it for DNA testing. However, in this time period, they didn't know what DNA was, so they ridiculed her claims, leaving her frustrated. Jamie returned to Lauren. She informed Jamie that she had created a time travel power source that could bring Jamie back to the present, but it would need Jamie's phone. However, Jamie's phone battery was running low with just a few hours left. If it ran out, she would be stuck in the past forever. But Jamie wasn't ready to leave because she knew that Marissa would be killed tonight, so she decided to stay at all costs to prevent the killer. Jamie and the group devised a plan to capture the killer at the fair. They decided to use Marissa as bait in the scary house, and the rest of them would be in costume inside. As the night fell, they put their plan into action. Marissa entered the scary house alone, full of fear. The others were ready to ambush. Outside, the killer appeared and entered the house. Jamie was hiding when she accidentally dropped a wrench. The killer noticed, kicked the door, and attacked her, but Blake arrived in time to stop the attack. Jamie ran and lured the killer to the ambush location. Randy and Pam appeared and attacked the killer, but they were no match for him. Kara arrived just in time and stabbed the killer from behind with the Reaper's scythe, ending his life. With the killer defeated, Jamie removed his mask, revealing that he was their classmate. Jamie noticed a picture of the killer's girlfriend, who had died because of the Molly group, leading him to seek revenge by killing them. As they were arguing and assigning blame for their actions, another Sweet 16 killer suddenly appeared and slit Marissa's throat on the spot, leaving everyone in shock and chaos. The group panicked and fled. Lauren led Jamie to the quantum drop game, where she installed the time travel machine to return to the present. Just as they were about to leave, the killer found them. Jamie activated the time travel machine and told Lauren to leave. Pam suddenly appeared from behind. Together, they fought the killer, but they were no match for him. When the killer was about to finish off Pam, Jamie pressed the button to open the door, and Pam was propelled outside, pulling the killer's mask with her. It turned out that the killer was Chris from the present, who had used Amelia's time machine to pursue Jamie. He was also the one who had killed Jamie's mother to gain more views on his channel. Chris rushed in to attack, but Jamie managed to stab him in the hand. Undeterred, he pulled out a knife to finish Jamie. Just at that moment, she shot him with the nail gun and then kicked him out of the time travel machine, vanishing into thin air. The time machine started spinning faster and transported Jamie back to the present. She rushed home to find her mother, and after the effort, Jamie had successfully altered the present. Her mother was still alive, bringing immense joy to Jamie. They embraced each other in happiness, and Lauren and Amelia arrived to share in the joy. At that moment, a man appeared, made Jamie confused. Lauren explained that he was her older brother, also named Jamie, which surprised female Jamie. Lauren clarified that her parents had met earlier in this altered timeline, and Jamie was no longer her name. She was now Colette. The future had been changed for the better, bringing a sense of closure and happiness to everyone. This is the end of the movie. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thanks for watching.